Hi everyone, this is Shivani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to discuss some very important tips to clear CA Final Group 1 in November 23. So as you guys know that November 23 is the last attempt for the old scheme students. So this is a very crucial attempt for all you guys who are into the old scheme. So I am going to mention some very important tips for every subject which will help you in the preparations and help you to clear the examinations. Firstly, let's start with FR. So in FR, it is very important for you guys to have a conceptual understanding. If you don't know what the Ind AS says, trust me, it will be very difficult for you to solve the questions. Even if you solve 100 questions or 1000 ones, if you're not clear what the concept says, in the exam hall you will go blank. So make sure that you focus on the conceptual understanding as well. Next tip for FR is that you need to do writing practice regularly. So whenever you are preparing, make sure to write and solve each and every question, and while you're solving, just mark down the tricky points in it. Next, do not skip anything. Students have this very bad habit of leaving stuff for option. Please do not do that. As long as you have time for preparations, try to cover everything because ICAI is never predictable. It can ask you questions from any chapter, any Ind AS. So make sure you do not skip anything. Lastly, ICAI can ask you case-based questions on the Ind ASs. So make sure you practice those. Along with these tips, also make sure that you are solving RTPs, MTPs and past papers. So you get a very brief idea of what kind of questions are generally asked in the exams. Now let's move on to SFM. So in SFM, just like FR, writing practice is very important. Honestly, during my first attempt, even I thought that I'll just look through the sums, I'll just see how the working is done and I'll go and solve in the exam hall. But that doesn't work out. You need to have that grip, you need to solve each and every questions to understand the flow of the answer. So make sure that you do the writing practice very well. Secondly, do not skip theory. SFM sounds like a practical subject, so we focus more on the practical sums, but trust me, theory also has some weightage. Around 30 marks of the questions come from the theory chapters, so please do not skip theory. Even in exams, you do not know the answer of any theory question, make sure to write something logically and attempt that question because theory can help you score good marks. I have been saying this in all my videos, SFM theory is literally something that can make you or break you. And lastly, make a formula sheet. So there are certain chapters in SFM which contains a lot of formulas and it is very difficult to remember each and every formula. So it is better that you make an entire formula sheet while you are preparing. So during that 1.5 days before exam, it will be very easy for you guys to revise those formulas. Now let's move on with audit. In auditing, a lot of students think that we will neglect standards on auditing for now and later on we'll cover it up. But standards on auditing are not as easy as it sounds. This idea doesn't really work. My honest suggestion would be you take up one standard of auditing every day. There are around 35 to 36 standards. So if you do one essay for every day in a month or so, you'll complete all your standards on auditing. And essays carry a good coverage in the exam papers, so please make sure that you do not take these chapters lightly. Nextly, there are Schedule 3 based questions in auditing, which we do not prepare for. We focus more on company audit, professional ethics, but we do not give importance for the Schedule 3 questions. And these are the questions which come in the question number 1, which is the compulsory question in your exam paper. So make sure you go back to the past papers, you go back to RTPs and MTPs and prepare for all the Schedule 3 based questions. Next, for auditing, keywords are very important. Since it is a theory subject, you are expected to write the keywords which are mentioned in the ICAI material. So whenever you're preparing for auditing, make sure that you mark those keywords and you make sure that you write those in your exam paper. And for auditing as well, conceptual understanding is very important. So you make sure that you understand the chapter first and then go on with the memorizing part. Now let's move on with law. Now law is a subject, sounds very difficult, but it is not. I have said this n number of times and I'll keep repeating myself in every video that in law exam you will not be asked anything outside the act. Whatever questions you get will be framed from the act itself. The law language can be a little difficult to understand, but once you're clear with it, it's a cakewalk. And to attempt the law paper, very important thing is that you need to understand the law. Secondly, I would suggest that you can make a summary sheet for all the penalties and punishments. And lastly, it is not compulsory to write section numbers in exams, but in case you do, make sure that you do not quote the wrong section numbers. And that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked the video. And in case you have liked this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel and keep watching my videos.